It was a night much like any other. Steady rain pattering against the windows, twisting the world outside into fleeting shapes and shadows. I had settled into my old armchair, a blanket thrown over my knees, nursing a cup of tea as the wind made occasional attempts to rattle the front door. Our house sits at the edge of an ancient forest, where trees stand thick and dark, and even the moon shies away from shining too brightly. Locals whisper about things that linger between those roots and branches, unseen, waiting. My grandmother used to warn me, in a voice brittle and thin as parchment. If you ever hear 3 knocks at the door after dark, don't be afraid. It's the 4th you must never answer. When I'd asked why, her eyes would dart, and she'd only mutter, "Some things are clever, child. They count on your curiosity." I always chalked it up to village superstition, a story meant to keep children from wandering at night. But on that rainy evening, as the wind fell away and the forest seemed to hold its breath, those words gently surfaced in my thoughts. The clock had just announced midnight with a tired groan when I first heard it. A knock at the front door. Clear, crisp, deliberate. No one ever visits at this hour, and certainly not during a storm, but I reasoned it must be a stranded traveler or a neighbor in some unexpected trouble. I waited, heart thumping, as a second knock followed. Sure, just as firm. My skin prickled at the thought. All at once, the house seemed much more isolated, distant from the safety of the rest of the world. A third knock came, precise as the first 2. My grandmother's warning returned, sharper now. There's something unnatural in the rhythm of these knocks, the patience, the waiting. A strange cold crept beneath my skin. I stood, every muscle in my body tensed, listening so intently my ears buzzed with my own heartbeat. And then, all at once, silence. For long, aching seconds, the quiet pressed until the only sound was the rain. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding, half laughing at myself. But before I could return to my chair, a 4th knock sounded. Hollow, heavy, deliberate, like a hand that had waited. Not impatient, but certain that I would respond in due time. That knock echoed, deep and dreadful, and with it came a sudden change. The rain froze against the window panes, each droplet captured by an invisible hand. The house, once filled with the gentle hum of stormy air, became devastatingly still. I looked down at the door, thick oak, hand-carved, as old as the house itself. I could sense movement behind it, a presence vast and ancient. It didn't breathe or rustle, but pressed forward with a yearning, as if it knew my name, had always known it. In a place beyond memory, it spoke without words, luring me to the threshold, promising everything I'd ever feared or hungered for. My grandmother's voice reverberated in my mind. Never the 4th, child, never the 4th. Still, my hand inched to the doorknob. Curiosity clawed at my reason. The 4th knock vibrated in my bones, monstrous and mournful, echoing with the hopes and horrors of all who had opened before. My breath made ghosts on the glass as I peered through the peephole. Nothing but darkness pressed against the wood. Still, I felt watched, judged by unseen eyes. I stepped back, heart pounding, sweat cold down my spine. I did not open the door. The silence roared. A whisper, soft as moss, seeped between the cracks. Another night then, and as the rain loosened and time began again, I understood the terror of the fourth knock. It waits not just outside, but in the space where courage and curiosity entwine. Tonight, I endured, but somewhere in the dark, it keeps count and waits.